Well, top of the morning to you folks. Happy Friday. My name is Dan Frio. I try to educate you guys everything real estate. So basically today's economic news, there's really nothing out there. So what we want to do is we want to prep to see what in the heck the Federal Reserve is going to do at the next meeting, because the next meeting for the Federal Reserve is coming out when? Well, next week. And that is 5 days, 4 hours, 2 minutes, and 48 seconds away. So without further ado, let's look at some of the market data that we have for today. There's not that much out there. So this video is going to be fairly quick. We go to the economic calendar. What is on there? Nothing. So last news that we had on the economic calendar was yesterday. It was a complete dismal day for existing home sales. If you look down through there, existing home sales that were reported yesterday hit I think they said like a 14-year low. 14-year low, or the lowest inventory on record. So what they look at is existing home sales. The previously reading was 4.3 million units sold. They expected 4.2, came in at 4.16. So that was a really, really big miss. Another thing is the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index is a negative 13.5. That's really bad as well. So the economy is really starting to slow down, but basically the news all next week, all you're going to hear is what the Federal Reserve is going to do. So let's just look at some data that we have in regards to the Federal Reserve. We go down through here, and there's two things that we're going to look at. But the first thing here is why we look at this. Well, it's basically saying, what is the likelihood that the Federal Reserve will change the federal target funds rate at the next meeting? Well, when in the world is the next meeting? Well, if we go over to here, we're looking at probabilities. The next meeting is next week, July 26th. We know the Federal Reserve's they're going to increase rates. Let me show you the probability of there right now. Look at that. It's 99, is it 99.8? I mean, other than 99.9, you can't get much better than that. But let's look at the next time that they meet. They're going to meet then in September, on September 20th. Okay, that's a long ways, and there's going to be a lot of data coming out before then. So the expectations are that the CPI and the PPI, those are the inflation numbers that the consumer level and the producers levels are going to be right in line of where they are now, or maybe even a little bit lower. So that's basically going to tell us that the Federal Reserve should, and they're probably most likely going to take their foot off the gas pedal. So that's what the expectations are. They're going to still come out next week, and they're going to sound really hawkish. They're going to say, we're going to continue to monitor this data. We're going to continue to do everything. If rates need to go up, well, that's what we're going to do. The reason being is if they come out and said, hey guys, we hit our target rate, everything is good, what do you think's going to happen? The markets are going to rally, mortgage rates are going to come down, everybody's going to feel the exuberance of all that. So they're going to continue to stay hawkish until they really get these numbers down in line. Okay, so that's basically the data out there right now. The other data is, if you go into CNBC, there is like nothing going on today other than corporate earnings with a lot of things, and we keep an eye on that. But if you go over to the business section and you hit real estate, this is basically what's coming in. Matt Ishbia, he's the owner and president of UWM. He's saying, refinance when rates do dip, and the likelihood, coming in the next, maybe I'm still expecting this year rates to be in I predicted at the beginning of the year rates would end the year at 5.5, and the housing market would be completely flat. Well, on the flat side, I'm dead on. On rates, I'm a little bit off. I'm about a percent higher than where we are today. So I'm still going to stay that my focus on rates are probably going to be about 5.5 to maybe 6 range, but that's the range that I've predicted and I'm sticking with at this point. So other than that, let's go over to the economic calendar. Like I said, nothing there. With all the news out, what's expected or what's going on in the bond market? Well, I just watched the video. That's the nice thing about this MBS Live. It gives you tons of updates. So if you're a mortgage advisor, I highly suggest you get this product. It's down below in the description. But this person, Julie, she is a strategist and president of, Macro Policies, and she's kind of saying the same thing. She said the Federal Reserve has to raise rates at the next meeting. Why? Well, you just saw right here, the probability of them doing it is basically 100%. So if they don't, they're going to lose faith, or people are going to lose faith in them. They're going to lose face is what I was trying to say. So they're going to stick with that policy. They're going to increase rates, but we're going to focus in on the verbiage of what they tell us. And next week, if you guys know, if you watch my channel a lot, what I do is I give a report when the Federal Reserve announces what they're going to do, because Federal Chairman Powell, he's basically the grand poobah of the Federal Reserve. He comes out after the meeting and sits down with reporters and answers a ton of questions. So that's what we've kind of focused in on. We want to see what his verbiage is. what his mannerisms are. We even look down to what is he doing with his paperwork and so forth. Is he looking a little bit anxious or whatever? These are just little signs that we pay attention to see, what's his guidance going forward. So the guidance is going to be they're raising rates, and then from there on, we really want to pay attention to every word that they're telling us. So that's going to be a key and pivotal point for the economic calendar for next week. So that's about it for today, guys. So have a great Friday. Enjoy the day. Have a fantastic weekend. And if you're out there and you're like, Dan, what do you do? So let me explain what I do. I'm a mortgage advisor. So I'm licensed in all 50 states. And we're also one of the country's largest mortgage brokerage firms. So what we can do is if you're anywhere in the country and you're like, Dan, I'd like to see, can I buy a house? Do I qualify for USDA? I know you guys have a 1% down program. How do you qualify for that? Is my credit good enough? Is my income good enough? Instead of sitting there guessing or maybe even trying to, disqualify yourself, why don't you just give us a call at 844-775-5626? Or if you're like, Dan, I need your help and I'm willing to give you whatever documents and everything I need because I need you to analyze my situation. Well, simple. Just go over here, hit the apply now button, fill out as much information as you can. Based on the questions that you answer, it's going to tell you what documents we need to review to make sure we can get you pre-qualified. So that's it for today, guys. God bless. Thank you so much for watching. All I ask you to do is 2 things today. Today, if you would, give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. That would help the channel out and help me be found by more and more people to help them when it comes to real estate. God bless, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.